Hey friends, welcome back to another pick a card reading. Today's reading is all about your future dream home. So we're going to dive into where your future dream home is going to be in terms of its location, and we're going to dive into what it looks like. Before we dive in, I just want to make a note that for any of you out there who are interested in a personal development and spirituality podcast and my e-commerce online shop, check out the links in the description if you feel called. If you are new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So we have pile 1 here with what looks like a sunset card, and then we have a rose quartz palm stone. We have pile 2 here with this house card, and then we also have a carnelian palm stone. We have pile 3 here with the mushroom card, and then we have a lepidolite palm stone. And then we have pile 4 here with the compass card, and then we also have a blue calcite palm stone. You can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you are ready, please go to the description of this video and find the timestamp that is linked to your pile so you can skip ahead to your reading all about your future dream home. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, friends, and I will see you on the inside. Okay, so pile 1, let's dive into where your future dream home is. Let's find out more about its location. So the first card that we have here is the High Priestess, and this one says Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve. So, okay, I definitely think that in terms of location, your dream home is going to be somewhere that feels very mystical, very serene, something that feels very deeply intuitive in terms of like your living environment. I'm wondering if for some of you here, maybe you're going to be living in a very quiet area. Maybe for some of you here, it feels a bit remote, right? So maybe some of you here have a dream home that's in a location that feels untouched. Maybe it feels really peaceful, where the nature feels very pristine and powerful. So pile 1, think of secluded spots, right? Somewhere that's maybe far away from like a bustling city. With the High Priestess here, I wonder if your future home is going to be somewhere near water. We have a lot of different cards here that have an element of water. So I wonder if like your home is going to be near a glacier, right? Or a lake or an ocean or a river. I definitely think that it's going to be a place that has a lot of natural beauty, a place that really does evoke this sense of wonder and this introspection, right? So maybe it's close to a national park, or it's heavily forested, right? Or heavily wooded, or maybe you live in some sort of like mountain valley. Just a couple specific examples here. Of course, remember pile 1, this list is just a list of examples. It's not exhaustive. And if you have somewhere else in mind, of course, use your own judgment, follow your intuition. You can always trust your own judgment and you can trust your gut. But I'm thinking about like for specific examples of where your future home might be. Maybe this is a place like Alaska, right? So maybe you live near the Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve, right? Or maybe you're surrounded by like, you know, towering glaciers or like abundant wildlife, right? For some of you here, I wonder if your future dream home is located somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, right? So maybe places like the Olympic Peninsula in Washington, or, you know, maybe for some of you here, you move somewhere close to Oregon's Crater Lake, right? Something that mirrors that tranquil, water-connected energy of this card. I wonder for some of you here, if your future home is going to be somewhere in like a Nordic country, right? So maybe somewhere like Norway's fjords or like Iceland's glaciers, right? Someplace that's very awe-inspiring or like has this atmosphere that feels very reflective. Ooh, I also feel like maybe there's like, for some of you here, maybe like a remote lakeside home would be something for you. So like Tahoe in California, or you know, like a place like Finger Lakes in New York, or, you know, any sort of place that provides this very serene setting, right? I just feel like the energy of the location of your future home it feels very much like a sanctuary, right? Somewhere that you can connect with your inner self. So maybe this is a space where you feel very inspired to, do things like reflect or journal or meditate, right? Maybe the seasons and the cycles of nature are going to be very evident in wherever it is that you live, right? So maybe for some of you here, you've been looking to kind of align your life with kind of like the way that nature works, right? So like maybe living a life that's in harmony with like the natural world, right? So like during the winter, maybe you focus on resting, right? And then during the spring, you're focusing on planting the seeds and taking action. And during the summer, you're, harvesting what you have. And, in the fall, you're letting go, you're releasing. So maybe things like that for some of you. I wonder for some of you here, pile one, if you're the kind of person that values things like privacy, right? Or introspection, or maybe fostering this environment of having this quiet respect, right? And sorry about those dogs going off in the background. Okay, and then we also have Neptune. This one says vision. So again, I feel like this is a confirmation of some of you here maybe having your future home by water, right? Because the planet of Neptune is deeply tied to water. So I do feel like your dream home could be near the ocean, right? Or a lake, or like a winding river, or maybe even a pond, right? Think of places with like soothing water views, right? Or sounds, like maybe you live in like a beachside cottage or like a lakeside cabin, right? I also feel like this confirms like this mystical secluded setting, right? So maybe like a quiet remote area where you can connect with your inner world, right? Maybe like a cabin in the woods or a home in the mountains, right? Or living in a small village surrounded by nature. I do feel like the location of your future home might feel a bit otherworldly, right? Or maybe it has like very deep spiritual energy, right? Or maybe it's near a sacred site, or it's within a community that values this mindfulness and this creativity. I wonder for some of you here if your future home is in this artistic or bohemian city, right? Because Neptune energy also connects with creativity. It connects with things like imagination. So maybe some of you here find yourself drawn to cities or towns that are known for their art scenes or their music festivals, or maybe it's like known for their spiritual communities, right? Like places like Santa Fe or Sedona or Venice, right? Specific examples with this card I feel are like Italy, right? Like Positano. When I think of this place, I feel like it's like a picturesque seaside town, right? It's on the Amalfi Coast. So this is a place that's known for things like its colorful cliffside homes, right? And its breathtaking ocean views and its very romantic, dreamy atmosphere. So, maybe somewhere in Italy, or maybe somewhere in Bali, right? Maybe you live somewhere that's like nestled in this very green, lush, spiritual, amazing, beautiful, peaceful, artistic, spiritual lifestyle kind of place, right? Again, I also feel like this is, for some of you, the Pacific Northwest again. Like a home tucked among the forest of Oregon or Washington, right? With those misty mornings and, proximity to rivers and waterfalls and the ocean. And this all just aligns really beautifully with Neptune's ethereal energy. And hey, maybe I'm a little biased here. I used to live in Oregon, and so Oregon will always have a place. And of course, the Pacific Northwest will always hold a place in my heart too. I'm also feeling like another place could be like Santorini, Greece, right? So maybe some of you here are going to live in a cliffside villa, right? That overlooks just beautiful waters, right? And it has this ambiance of like serenity and timeless beauty. For some of you here, this could be like Kyoto, Japan, right? Or somewhere in Japan, a very tranquil home that's surrounded by bamboo forest, or, maybe you live near ancient temples, or a place that really like offers this spiritual and reflective environment. So with Neptune, I just feel like the atmosphere feels very ethereal, right? It feels very calming. I think many of you here are going to have like soft lighting and flowing fabrics and serene colors, right? Like blues, greens, whites. Sorry, pile one, I'm getting so excited for your future dream home. I've been wanting to do a reading like this for so long, and here it is, so I'm so excited. Okay, I also feel like your future dream home, pile one, I feel like you're gonna have large windows, right? For natural light, for views of like the water or nature, maybe like a meditation space. Maybe some of you here have like a very dreamy garden or a very spa-like bathroom. I just feel like the energy of your future dream home feels like it's a space that really does inspire creativity and imagination and spiritual growth. So super duper exciting. We also have reaching your destiny. I was going to say real quick, this is also perfect for those of you who consider yourself artists, creators, creative people, content creators too. I feel like this is going to be a perfect spot to just draw on like your source of creativity and really connect with just like this creative spirit. I don't know. I know that you'll understand what I mean, pile one. We also have reaching your destination, and this one says your light is shining brightly. Why does this remind me of like the Wizard of Oz, like the land of Oz, right? It's almost like the promised land, right? It's that shiny magical place that you're on this journey to. But I definitely feel like with this card, I feel like in terms of location, it's gonna feel like a place that feels like home, right? Where you truly feel at home. And I keep hearing that again with the Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. Is that what she would say? Is that there's no place like home? And she would click her feet and try to get back home. Yeah, I just feel like it reflects this space that really allows your inner light to shine, and it again will offer you inspiration and alignment with your purpose, pile one. So for some of you here, I wonder if you'll live in like this tranquil seaside town, right? Maybe you have a cozy home near the ocean where the soothing sound of waves really enhance your sense of peace and clarity, right? So think of places like Carmel by the sea, or Santorini again, right? Or even Astoria. I'm getting so excited, you guys. If you guys are manifesting a dream home in any of these locations, drop me a couple purple hearts in the comments. I just want to know how many of you out there are resonating with this so far. But yeah, and then for some of you here, I do feel like you could live in like a vibrant city with spiritual undertones, right? So maybe for some of you here, you're like, I don't want to live in a remote location, or I don't want to, you know, or maybe you do want that option to like have the ability to like, I guess, retreat to like, you know, your cabin in the woods. So I wonder too, some of you here are probably going to have more than one property that you own, or more than one home that you're in. Like, I wonder for some of you, you could be like, for example, right? Say you do like want to live in a city, like a place that feels vibrant and, you know, like maybe again, like what I was saying earlier, like a very vibrant city that has like spiritual undertones, right? So maybe living in a home in a creative and a progressive city, right? Like Sedona, Arizona, right? Or somewhere in Bali, right? Somewhere where your surroundings really do inspire that self-discovery and that creativity. But I think that for some of you here, you're just going to be like, you're going to have options is what I'm hearing, right? So I don't think you're going to be like stuck in just one place. If you want to retreat and go and recharge, you can. If you want to like reconnect with your community and come back, like, yes, that's something that's available too. Like, I don't think that, for those of you who like are like, oh, I don't know about remote living, like I like it, but not really. Maybe for some of you, the message here is like, it's not going to be as remote as you think it will be. That's for specific some of you. Just wanted to say it. I also feel too, though, like some of you here are going to be living in like a countryside retreat, like a serene farmhouse in like Tuscany, right, in Italy. Or maybe some of you live in like a quiet English countryside village, right? And you're surrounded by rolling hills and a lot of natural beauty. I just think that you're going to be somewhere with like nature as a focus, right? So places that are close to forest or mountain, or, you know, mountains or water, somewhere that you feel like you can recharge and have this deep connection to the earth. I also feel like maybe cultural or artistic places could be important to some of you, right? So maybe a city or a town that's known for its rich culture or its art or its history, right? Something that really does provide this backdrop for your creativity and your personal expression to pile one. I wonder too if some of you here will live, again, like in a location that's energetically uplifting, or near a temple or a monastery, or, you know, a spiritual landmark. We also have equality. This one says seahorse. So with this card, I do feel like there's a lot of change coming your way, pile one. Again, I think that this card probably confirms that for some of you, you are going to be living in a place that might be near water, right? So like a coastal or like a waterfront area, right? I wonder if, like, again, you might have this home with like stunning water views, or you can hear some sort of like water element is what I feel. I also feel like your dream home is going to be in a community that values things like diversity, right? And values things like fairness. I think you're going to live somewhere that's known for its cultural richness, and it's a place where you have like neighbors who actively foster this sense of like mutual support and connection. So the seahorse, it thrives when it's in a very harmonious ecosystem. I feel like the location of your home is going to be somewhere where nature is like preserved or celebrated, or like a home, again, that's near like a national park or a forest, or you know, like an eco-friendly place. We also have the patience card here. This one says, just a few more months, good things come to those who wait. Interesting. So I wonder, for some of you here, this is like a home that you've been waiting for a long time, or you feel like you've had to have a lot of patience when it comes to manifesting this dream home. I just definitely think that this is a confirmation that like your patience, your waiting, your, you know, kind of like, ooh, I keep hearing too, like waiting for the right moment to strike. I think that when you manifest this future dream home, it's going to be like just the perfect timing, the perfect place, you know, being at the right place in the right time. And I think this is something that you don't have to worry about. It's just going to be divinely happening. So yeah. Okay, I want to dive into what your future dream home looks like. We have the Temperance card here. This one says Zion National Park. So with this one, I feel like your dream home is going to embody themes of like balance and harmony and having this deep connection with nature again. So I just feel like some of you here are going to have a home that's designed with symmetry, you know, clean flowing lines. Maybe for some of you here, you go for a more like a minimalistic look. But in terms of like interior design, I wonder if some of you here are going to be blending like rustic, earthy materials, right? Like a mix of like stone and wood and glass features in your house with like modern touches, right? I can almost see it being like this modern home for some of you, right? Like a modern home like that's nestled within like a forest. Like for some of you out there, or for those of you who are Twilight fans or have watched Twilight, you know Edward Cullen's house. It's almost like that for some of you here. Not for all of you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I feel like your future dream home is going to just have this very serene and timeless aesthetic, right? I feel like your home is going to be somewhere that you can take in this breathtaking natural environment, right? So similar to places like Zion National Park, maybe you're going to be surrounded by majestic cliffs or canyons or rolling landscapes, right? I also feel like, again, this could be a close proximity to water, right? Such as a creek or a river or a pond, somewhere that really symbolizes emotional balance, right? And that feeling of peace and calm. For some of you here, I feel like soft neutral tones also may be going on in your home, right? So like a very soothing color palette, like earthy greens and sandy beiges, right? And warm woods. Many of you here, I think that you're going to have this like spacious, really open floor plan that allows you to foster that connection and that flow, right? Again, like a mix of like indoor and outdoor living spaces, right? Some of you are going to have like patios or verandas or an outdoor meditation garden, right? I just feel like your future dream home is going to be a sanctuary of peace. It's going to be somewhere that feels very tranquil, somewhere that feels very aligned and centered. And I just think that the environment feels very welcoming, Padawan. It feels very serene. It feels like it's filled with just this quiet beauty that invites you to have balance in all aspects of your life, right? So there's a lot of harmony here. Things feel like they're in equilibrium. There's a lot of natural beauty here, mindfulness, you know? So this is a place where you're going to come home and you feel like your spirit is nurtured and restored. We also have Carrot here. This one says clarity, and this is Virgo energy. So I feel like your home is going to be a space that maybe it's going to radiate like simplicity or functionality, right? There's definitely going to be a lot of order and serenity in terms of like what the atmosphere is like. Again, I feel like for some of you here, you might go for a more like minimalistic design, right? Or like something earthy, right? So clean lines, uncluttered spaces, right? Maybe using natural materials like wood and stone. Again, like I mentioned earlier, earthy tones, you know, soft creams, sage greens, warm browns, those things. I wonder for some of you here, you may have like organic touches too, right? Again, big windows, plenty of natural light, maybe skylights that bring the outside in. But I do think that there's going to be like this subtle elegance, right? There's going to be like this balance of simplicity and sophistication, right? So maybe some of the things in your house, maybe they're understated, but they're very meaningful details, like having handcrafted furniture, things like that. I just think that your layout is functional. I think that you're very organized with this Virgo energy here. I think that maybe things are health focused. I can almost see for some of you a kitchen that has like a garden window for growing herbs and appliances for, you know, making like fresh, nutritious meals, a juicer, you know, things like that. Your outdoor space, I want to touch on this. Many of you here are going to have gardens, right? So like a vegetable or a herb garden, some sort of dedicated space for growing, you know, things that you want to eat, right? Carrots, leafy greens, other vegetables. This is also like an homage to that Virgo energy, right? That very earthy connection. I also feel like in terms of what your yard or your outdoor area looks like, it's gonna feel like this peaceful sanctuary. Maybe you're gonna have like a bench or a hammock, and maybe your garden is surrounded by lavender or rosemary or other calming plants. I just feel like your home is going to look very wellness focused, right? So we also have Laguz. This one is a rune card, and Laguz is a rune that symbolizes things like water, like intuition, like flow, you know, the things that are unconscious. So it's really connected to this idea of things like emotional depth, right? And fluidity and nurturing the energy of the sea. So again, I feel like this is a confirmation that some of you here have a future home that's near water, right? Again, somewhere that is surrounded with nature, feels very tranquil. I wonder if you're gonna have like shades of blue in your home. Shades of aqua, green, again, mirroring the colors of like water and nature. I also feel like too, some of you here may have like water features at your home, right? Like indoor fountains, outdoor fountains, aquariums, jacuzzis, you know, things like that. A very spa-like bathroom. I really do feel like you're going to have, like many of you here are going to have an art studio, a writing desk that like overlooks some sort of nature. Ooh, I think that for some of you here too, you're going to be able to see some really beautiful either sunrises or sunsets or both. So, yeah, or, ooh, interesting. Maybe when you look out the window, you're going to see a lot of like clouds too. I don't know why I want to say Indiana. Some of you here may have a future home in Indiana, which doesn't seem like it's close to water, but this reminds me of some of the cornfields in Indiana. So, yeah. We also have, this one says chase the sunset. Interesting. So I think that wherever you're going to live, your future home is going to have spectacular sunsets. And yeah, I hope that you had fun with this reading, Pile 1. Thank you so much. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Comment below with what pile you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Please take care of yourself. Check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of different pick a card readings and other videos for you to explore. But if not this time, I will see you back on the next video. Bye, friends. Okay, so pile 2, welcome to your reading all about your future dream home. So let's start out by finding out where your future dream home is located in terms of location. The first card that we have here is the Knight of Vessels, and this is the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is a card that's deeply tied to things like intuition, things like creativity, and things like flow. So I think that you're going to live in a place that definitely feels like a sanctuary. It's going to feel like it's a place where the natural beauty or the atmosphere really aligns with your soul's desires. And I really think that there's a lot of you in this pile that are going to be living close to water. The Suit of Cups is associated with the element of water, and it can also talk about things like love, like friends, family, relationships, things like emotions, all those things. So definitely think that your dream home could be located near maybe like a serene body of water, right? Like a lake or a river or the ocean. There's just going to be this soothing presence of water that's probably going to inspire your creativity and probably going to give you a very peaceful retreat. I also feel like wherever you live feels like a very romantic and picturesque setting, right? So maybe the location of your future dream home is a place that feels very enchanting, right? It's a place that feels very visually appealing. Maybe some of you here will live in a quaint coastal town, or maybe some of you here will live in a valley that has a lot of rolling hills, or maybe for some of you here, you'll live in like a very charming village that's surrounded by nature, right? Basically, I just think that this represents you living in a place that evokes this sense of wonder and romanticism, and it just provides this really ideal backdrop for your dreams. Now, the Knight of Cups often seeks harmony, and so I feel like you're going to live in an area that has a very calm, balanced atmosphere, and it feels like it's free from chaos, right? So maybe you live in a place that has a small, tight-knit community where people value connection and kindness, or, you know, maybe some of you here will live in a spot that feels a little bit more secluded where you can recharge, you know? I also feel like with the Knight of Cups here, because this is a card that's connected to things like creativity and emotional exploration. The Knight of Cups here is related to things like creativity, like emotional exploration, right? It looks like these people are all exploring. So I definitely think that your dream home could be in a place that's known for its artistic vibe, or maybe its spiritual vibe, right? Like maybe you live somewhere that has like an artist colony, or a place that feels like a healing retreat, right? Or like a city that really does celebrate things like creativity and personal expression. The Knight of Cups here can also represent things like a journey. So maybe this home might not be static forever, right? Maybe it serves as a base for things like future exploration, right? And it reflects your love for adventure and discovery, right? So maybe your future home is going to be in a location that really does encourage your personal growth and that emotional exploration like we spoke about earlier. Now, I also feel like with the Knight of Cups here, I also feel like you're going to live somewhere that really resonates with your romantic ideals, right? With your creativity, and it's going to be a place that really gives you a lot of emotional fulfillment, right? It's this place that inspires you and it offers you beauty and peace and this sense of connection. So off the top of my head, just thinking about a couple specific places, remember this list is not exhaustive. If you feel drawn to a certain place that like I haven't mentioned, please follow that desire, please follow your gut. You always know what is best for you. So but I just want to give out a couple examples for fun. So I'm thinking about places like Greece, right? Maybe living on some sort of like picturesque island that has really beautiful sunsets, or like crystal clear waters, right? Or just a very serene atmosphere that's perfect for things like romance and feeling inspired. I also feel like there's places in Japan that have a lot of like, you know, natural beauty and tranquil gardens and temples, and, you know, has a lot of spaces that promote this sense of reflection and this emotional depth. I'm also thinking about places in Italy too, right? Places that have like very breathtaking views, that have charm, places that offer a lot of peace or artistic inspiration, right? I also am thinking about where I live in Hawaii, right? So we have many different islands here too, but maybe you live, you know, in a tropical paradise, right? Where it has a lot of lush landscapes and this deep connection to culture and nature, and you know, it's a place that really does evoke a lot of emotional renewal and creativity. So places like that. Or I wonder, for some of you here, maybe you're drawn to like a village in England, right? Like some sort of idyllic village or rolling hills, or a place with historic charm. I think that some of you here could be drawn to places that feel like a rural retreat, right? A place where that like a place that offers the calm and the romantic environment that maybe some of you here are drawn towards. I just feel like wherever it is that you want to go, the Knight of Cups here reminds us to trust our heart, make sure that it reflects your deepest desires, right? And it provides this space for your emotional and your creative well-being. We also have transits. This one says climate. So with this one, I feel like maybe some of you here are going to be using astrology or using transits to explore the potential location, right, of your future dream home. So for those of you out there who are beginners with astrology and you want to learn more about how to understand your birth chart in a very simple way, understanding the planets, the houses, and so much more, check out my podcast, the That's Deep podcast. I have it linked for you in the description if you feel called. But for those of you who are familiar with astrology, maybe take a look at your 4th house, right? It's the house of home and roots, right? The 4th house governs things like home and family and our foundation. So, you know, maybe you're going to be looking at transits into your 4th house, or maybe you're going to be looking at just your birth chart and what's in your 4th house. I would say check out your moon sign pile too. Like, check out your moon sign and kind of look into what the needs of that moon sign is, because maybe this will point you in the right direction of where your future dream home might be, right? So like, for example, if you have a moon in Sagittarius, you might prefer like open spaces and adventurous locations. But say you have a moon in Taurus, right? Then maybe you'll favor having like a cozy, more stable home in a very serene setting, right? It's just, I wonder if looking into your moon sign might be helpful. And for those of you who are just interested in popping your moon sign in the comments below, please do. I'm so curious about the astrological signs of, you know, this fabulous community that we have here. As for me, I am a Libra moon and I live in Hawaii, and I think that this place feels very harmonious and balanced to me, and I'm from here, so it feels like home. So yeah. Okay. I wonder too if you want to look at where Jupiter is in your birth chart, because this can show us where growth and luck are available to us, right? So for your dream home, maybe you're going to look into your Jupiter placement or any transits related to Jupiter. You might also want to look at your Venus sign too, because Venus is all about aesthetics and what you find beautiful. By the way, another shameless plug to my podcast, but again, if you want to find out what each planet represents and what it means for you, check out my podcast, the That's Deep podcast, linked for you in the description. But I also feel like look at your Mars sign too, because it's going to show you where you feel energized, where you feel active. So like, for example, right, if Mars is transiting a fire sign like Aries or Leo, maybe some of you here want to live in a warmer climate, right? Or if your Mars is in a water sign, then maybe you're going to be drawn to like cooler, more lush environments. So that's just what I'm talking about when I say like to look at your specific planets in your birth chart or transits. But yeah, we also have Valiant Courage. This one says take action with passion. So with this one, I feel like you're going to be in a place where you feel very inspired to pursue your dreams, right? So this is going to be somewhere that allows you to feel this strong sense of personal empowerment, and it's going to be a place where you can build your future with a lot of determination and enthusiasm. So I wonder if for some of you here, if you're drawn to like a location that allows you to connect with nature, right? Maybe it offers both beauty and this sense of freedom. Maybe some of you here want to live close to mountains or oceans or, you know, wide open plains. I feel like it's a place that really does ignite this sense of passion, right? This sense of passion within you. I definitely feel like your future dream home is going to be in a place that has you feeling very inspired to like take on like creative or physical adventures in this space. I also feel like for some of you here, you might value a place that really encourages you to be bold or to engage with others or to really take charge in your life. I wonder if for some of you here, you might be drawn to like a city with a very entrepreneurial spirit, or Maybe it's a neighborhood that's known for creativity, right? Or it's some sort of community that encourages personal growth and development, right? So I definitely feel like you're going to be surrounded by like-minded individuals who equally fuel your ambition as well. Now, I definitely think that with this card too, I feel like your passions, I feel like where you live could be like a hub of innovation and progress, right? It's this place that you can take action towards your goals, whether it's professional or creative or or personal. I just feel like it's a place that is going to give you a lot of new opportunities for growth. So maybe it's a place that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, right? Maybe it is in a city that's known for its fast pace, or it's a city that you've never lived in before. It's a type of environment that's like totally foreign to you, right? Like maybe some of you here are moving to another country. It's the energy of triumph here. It's the energy of stepping out of your comfort zone, kind of setting foot. Maybe travel has a lot to do with some of your passions here too. But yeah, I feel like wherever your future dream home is going to be, it's going to be full of energy. It's going to be full of potential. And it's really going to give you this like sense of forward momentum, right? It's going to be a place that inspires you to keep moving towards your bigger dreams. Now, we also have prosperity. This one says peacock. With this card, I feel like it embodies the energy of prosperity and beauty and luxury. I think that this symbolizes your home, that's your home not just being a place to live, but it's actually an expression of your success and your abundance, right? So I definitely think that you're going to be living in a setting that's surrounded by very rich landscapes, right? I think that some of you here are going to have very well-maintained gardens or, you know, scenic views. For some of you here, you could be living in a place near water, right? Or where the shimmer of the sun reflects off a lake or, you know, a river or the ocean. I just feel like some of you here could be drawn to areas with diverse wildlife or parks or coastal regions, or, you know, maybe it has a lot of beautiful botanical environments around you. I also am thinking about how the peacock thrives in a setting that really celebrates creativity and culture. So maybe your dream home is going to be located in an area that's very close to artistic communities or museum galleries or cultural centers, right? Maybe it's a town or a neighborhood where the atmosphere really does reflect a love for beauty and design and craftsmanship, right? I also feel like because the peacock represents this sense of grandeur and this sense of like elegance, maybe your future home is going to be in like a very prestigious neighborhood, right? Like a very affluent, refined neighborhood. I can see some of you here living like in an upscale urban district or like a gated community or some sort of serene residential area that feels very exclusive and refined. I also feel like some of you here could prefer a location that's known for its elegance or some sort of like historic district or a really sought after part of town. The peacock is also a symbol of very vibrant colors, right? It really does grab your attention with its beauty. So I definitely think that your future dream home's location is going to have a very lively and energetic vibe. I think that this could mean that you have a neighborhood that has a very vibrant architecture or, you know, beautifully designed streets or some sort of area that's full of life, and it has maybe like artistic street art or, you know, flower-filled parks. I just think it's going to look really beautiful, pal, too. I also feel like there's this sense of freedom too with this card, right? Because prosperity often comes with space and freedom, right? And this sense of openness. So I think that wherever you live is going to be somewhere with a sense of openness. So maybe you're going to have like a house that's on a hill that has big expansive views, right? Or maybe it's a home that feels expansive with really big windows, right? That lets in a lot of natural light and it just promotes that feeling of freedom. Either way, I just feel like wherever you live is going to be a place that feels like you feel both inspired and at ease at the same time, right? And it does reflect this like prosperous life that you're building. We also have manifest. This one says, tell the universe exactly what you want. It looks like somebody's praying about something. So I don't know if for some of you here, you've been praying about a specific home or like really, really wishing for a specific move to a specific place, but this is your sign to tell the universe exactly what you want, I think the first step in manifestation is to get super duper clear on what you desire. So don't be afraid to dream bigger than, you know, you think you can. Don't limit yourself. What do they say? Like, shoot for the stars and shoot for the moon, and you'll land. Shoot for the moon and you may land among the stars, or something like that. So this is a sign for you to dream bigger, to allow yourself to want what you want, right? To know that your desires are safe and it's guidance, right? Guidance from your higher self or guidance from the universe, whatever resonates with you. Now, what I want to do here is I would love to dive into what your future dream home looks like. So we have the Ace of Vessels here, and this is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, it can represent powerful and very transformative new beginnings, right? And this is often centered around things like emotional fulfillment, like love, like personal growth, right? This is like a new beginning, a new opportunity. And, you know, this could have to do with love or friends or family or relationships, right? Or emotions. I definitely feel like there's a sense of calm and serenity here. Your dream home is definitely going to be a place that feels like a sanctuary, a place that you can recharge and find inner peace. I wonder if there's like an emphasis on very soft and soothing colors, right? Maybe natural elements. Your home just feels very tranquil in terms of ambiance. I think many of you here are going to have like warm lighting. It reminds me of like that video, I don't know if it's like a TikTok or a reel, but it's like we never ever turn on the big light, and it's like I think they keep their regular like fluorescent lights off, and then they have like those circular lamps and those like really cool warm lighting, like bulbs all over, you know, lighting and stuff. It's so cozy. I love looking at like cozy home core on you know, TikTok, RIP TikTok. But yeah, I think you're gonna have maybe like, yeah, soft textures, like open spaces. Again, I do think that many of you here are going to have a dream home that's near water or has some sort of water feature, like a pond or a fountain, or it has like large windows that overlook a scenic view. It's definitely going to be a place that encourages you to get outside, to, you know, enjoy the beauty of the nature that surrounds you. I feel like many of you here may want to bring the outdoors in too. So I can see for some of you here, you have like a home that's just decorated with like a lot of plants, a lot of indoor plants, indoor gardens, maybe some sort of design that really does emphasize natural elements. For those of you who this resonates with, I think that some of you here may resonate with being like a garden witch or like a kitchen witch. But again, that's just for specific some of you. I definitely think that your future home is a place that you can fully express your feelings, right? And it's a place that you can really connect with your heart's desires. So maybe your dream home has an area that really does allow for this kind of expression, right? So like maybe this looks like a cozy reading nook or a creative studio or even a meditation space where you can center yourself, right? I also feel like this card, it signifies things like love and emotional connection. So for many of you here, your home feels very warm, it feels romantic, it feels nurturing. Maybe it has a very spacious, inviting kitchen for cooking meals for, you know, you or, you know, your partner or your family or friends or loved ones or whoever it is, just for yourself, your pets. I just feel like many of you here too are going to have like a very big master bedroom with a view, right? And maybe like a really big open living area where you can connect with people in a heartfelt way. There's just this huge focus on comfort, right? Huge focus on relaxation. Maybe you have very like soft plush furnishings and cozy corners and plenty of spaces for relaxation and rejuvenation, right? Some of you here might have like a bathtub with a view, right? Maybe like a spa-like bathroom where you can unwind and really tap into that like emotional healing energy that's associated with the Ace of Cups. I also feel like there could be a focus on sustainability in your dream home, right? Maybe using like natural, eco-friendly materials, or maybe your home is energy efficient, or your design choices, like it's environmentally conscious, right? Or it has your personal well-being in mind. Yeah, we also have happiness. This one says marjoram, and then it's we have Gemini energy here. So I definitely feel like your space feels like it has a lot of light and it's full of curiosity, and it also feels like a space that's ever evolving. So maybe your interior doesn't look the same forever, right? So maybe it's versatile, right? So maybe there's different things, like maybe each room feels different, but the spaces flow seamlessly from one room to another, right? So maybe for some of you here, you have like bright, welcoming colors and it changes with the seasons, right? I wonder too if in terms of like furniture, maybe it's something that's like flexible or adaptable, right? Like modular furniture that you can move around. Something that like can be rearranged, or the pieces can work both indoors and outdoors, right? I also feel like you're going to have a space for socializing and having connection, right? So a space that really does encourage things like conversation, things like connection, right? So again, cozy corners, plush seating, places that people can naturally gather. Maybe there's going to be like a big, large kitchen island where your friends and your family can chat. You guys can cook together. You can host. Maybe you have like a big dining table and you can host these like fun, dinners where you can like decorate the table. This is my pal that's going to have a lot of fun with this. And I feel like since Gemini energy thrives on things like communication, I really do think that your home is going to have places that foster dialogue, right? So like a library nook, or a cozy reading corner by a window where you can exchange ideas, or, drink your morning coffee or curl up with a book. There's just a lot of creativity in the air. I think that there's the element of art and expression here. So I think that for many of you here, I can see your homes being filled with like art supplies or creative workstations, right? Maybe you have a room full of inspirational quote, vision boards, or DIY projects. I feel like your dream home could have a creative studio, maybe a space for crafting or for journaling or writing. I just think that in your home, you're going to find things that allow you to express your ever evolving thoughts and ideas. Like maybe you have a station where, you record content like this. I also feel like you live in a place where the atmosphere changes with your mood, right? So again, like each room could look a bit different depending on your current inspiration. I also think that there's some sort of, like your home feels like techie, right? Like feels like there's technology integrated in there, because Gemini has an affinity for things like intellectual. Gemini is connected with, everything intellectual and curious. So I think that maybe your home could have like smart technology, right? Like voice controlled lights, or an advanced sound system for like podcasts or audiobooks, or some sort of workspace that's very optimized and maybe organized for productivity, right? It has everything that you need for work or your, creative projects. I also feel like in terms of your outdoor space, I think this could be a reflection of that Gemini energy too, right? So maybe it feels active. Maybe you have like workout machines out there, or items for moving your body or getting your daily movement in, right? Maybe it has an area for gardening, or a deck with like some really cozy seating, or, like a space for gatherings, or a fire pit, or an outdoor kitchen, right? Something that invites some really lively conversations or connections, under the stars. I just think you're going to be having a lot of fun connecting and exchanging ideas and connecting with friends and loved ones and family here. So it all feels very fun. In terms of maybe those of you who are interested in having a garden, maybe for some of you here, you grow marjoram, right, in your garden. Maybe you have flowers or herbs that speak to that nurturing and vibrant energy of Gemini. We also have Uruz. This one is from the Runes deck, and this rune symbolizes things like strength, vitality, and endurance. It's also associated with the wild ox, and this symbolizes things like raw power, the primal forces of nature. So when it comes to your future dream home, I feel like you're going to live in a space that feels kind of rustic and natural, right? So maybe you have a home that is built with natural materials, or maybe it has like a refined yet rugged aesthetic, right? So maybe some of you here want to live in a home that has large timber beams, or stone fireplaces, or open spaces that really blend seamlessly with the nature outside of you. This rune also thrives on freedom and strength. So I think that your home, again, it feels very expansive, big open floor plans, maybe high ceilings, large windows. I feel like the connection to the outdoors would be important. Many of you here may have like panoramic views or a garden that feels wild and untamed, right? Big connection with nature. Whether this is like the forest or mountain views or like a sprawling countryside, it's just a home where you feel like you can live in harmony with nature, right? Maybe you have sustainable features like I mentioned earlier before. Maybe you have some solar panels or like rainwater harvesting or, you know, again, eco-friendly things. I also think that your decor, like some of you could have decor that has powerful symbols or, you know, things that like evoke strength, right? Like animals, like, you know, maybe you have like hanging above your door, you have like a bronze, like ox or like a bull, right? Or some sort of symbol of nature's raw power. Maybe you have like an impressive entryway with a grand staircase. I also feel like you're going to live in a home that can withstand the force of nature. So I don't know, for some of you here, you live in a place where like nature is something, you know, not to be reckoned with, but like you live in a place that, yeah, right, like maybe you live in like Florida. We all know what happens in places like Florida. Or you live in Hawaii. We have certain things like tsunami season or hurricane season or tsunami threats, right? There's certain places with obviously certain natural considerations. And so I do think that wherever you live is going to be somewhere where it's like very strong. You can, it can withstand the nature that it's in. We also have this house card here. I definitely think that your future dream home is going to be a place where your creative juices are flowing, where your creativity grows. It feels, again, very connected to nature, very connected to the earth around you. And then it says, it is in the shelter of each other that people live. Irish proverb. I love this. I definitely feel like this is my pile for some of you that are going to have a home that's filled with loved ones, right? Whether this is a romantic partner, children, your parents, like whatever it is, it's going to be friends. You're going to be able to have a home that feels like you can share this space with your loved ones, right? You're going to be creating a beautiful home and a beautiful sanctuary, not only for yourself, but for other people. I also feel like many other people are going to see or find home in you, right? Like you're going to feel home. You're going to feel like home to other people. I hope that makes sense. I'm just spitting it out as it comes out. So yes. But thank you so much, Pile 2. I hope this was fun. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Comment below with what pile you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Please take care of yourself. Check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I have a bunch of different pick a card readings as well as other videos for you to explore. But if not this time, I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Okay, so Pile 3, let's dive into your reading all about your future dream home. We are going to find out where it is located and what it looks like. So let's first dive into where your future dream home is. The first card that we have here is the Devil. This one says Carlsbad Caverns National Park. So let me just give you a little bit of context here. The Devil card in the tarot, it often symbolizes things like temptation, things like attachment, materialism, or maybe even feeling trapped by desires or habits. So when I see this card in position of like where your future dream home is located, I feel like it's a place that holds a deeper, more complex meaning for you. Maybe one that's not simply about beauty or luxury, but it's about confronting maybe some shadow aspects of the self or some personal limits, right? So I wonder for some of you here, if your future home is situated in a place that you feel called to reflect on what truly matters to you, and maybe it's a place that allows you to be liberated and to potentially break free from any sort of limiting patterns that you feel that's going on in your life. Carlsbad Caverns National Park is a place that's known for its underground caves. So I wonder, caves are things that are, you know, hidden beneath the surface. So I wonder if the location of your future home could be somewhat secluded or off the beaten path, right? Maybe this represents some sort of retreat from the outside world, or this need to explore or to confront the inner workings of your mind, to really uncover deeper layers of your personality and your desires. I also feel like for some of you here, maybe you're gonna live near a place that has this sense of mystery or like hidden treasure, right? So maybe some of you here are drawn to the natural beauty, but you're also challenged to examine your motivations and your attachment to, you know, things like material comforts, right? So I feel like this is going to be a space where you can dive into your own unconscious. You can confront any habits or any patterns that you feel like are limiting you. And I think that you can find freedom by transforming your relationship to like what you have, right? I wonder for some of you here if this is like a need to retreat into nature or to be surrounded by like awe-inspiring, almost otherworldly landscapes, right? And I think that this is also a reminder too to not get too to not cling too tightly to the idea of perfection or idealism in your environment, right? But to balance that allure of escape with like this healthy detachment from the material things, right? The things that you have. I feel like maybe you're going to be living in a location that feels both mysterious and a little bit untamed, right? So maybe this is going to be a very unique place that has some geological features or like dramatic landscapes or places that are very rich in history and maybe some hidden allure. Maybe some of you here are going to live near the Carlsbad Caverns National Park, right, in the US, or within some sort of proximity to it. But if you're not familiar with this place, it's just these vast caves that are hidden beneath the earth, and there's just like a lot of natural beauty, you know, tinged with both wonder and danger. So I wonder if like some of you here are going to be living in a very raw, like natural place. Maybe for some of you here, you're drawn to places in like Venezuela, right? Like maybe you live in some sort of like mountain in the Amazon. Maybe you live somewhere that feels very surreal, again, somewhere that's very otherworldly, a place that's filled with mystery and the sense of remoteness. Maybe some of you here, you know what I was gonna say, I don't think that, I mean, unless, I'm not sure the way that their law works, but I thought of New Zealand, but then I was like, hang on, I'm not sure if you can actually like purchase property in New Zealand if you're not from there, or I don't know if it's has anything to do with being indigenous. I'm not entirely sure, I don't live there, but I think of places like New Zealand, right? Mystical place, nature, almost this like forbidden beauty, right? Places like Costa Rica, right? Where there's places that have both natural power and beauty, where like there is this fiery energy as well, right? Creation and destructions. Places like near a volcano, right? I'm not saying near a volcano, but places with like that have had volcanic activity in the past. Ultimately, or maybe for some of you here, you live near like a canyon, right? Glen Canyon, like someplace that feels very dramatic. Someplace that has a very colorful landscape of like canyons and cliffs, and you know, somewhere that offers both seclusion but breathtaking vistas, right? So it almost plays into that like contrasting energy of this card here. I just feel like with the essence of this card, it could be a place that has a very raw energy, a place that has mystery, and obviously a place that has beauty that's like found all together with all of that. This could be a home that's a space for your own transformation, right? Whether you break free from old attachments, or you become more conscious of your true desires, or you find freedom in a new and deeper way of living. For some of you here too, I feel like maybe you're moving away from like your childhood town, right? You're breaking free from like, maybe some of you here feel stuck in your childhood home or childhood town, or maybe even for some of you, it's just where you live, you feel stuck there. So I definitely think that wherever your future dream home is, it's going to allow you to like break free from that. It's going to align you more with your true desires. It's going to liberate you. It's going to allow you to have this freedom. For some of you here, I wonder if like this is you moving on from something, right? Like an old like relationship or something. You're moving away to somewhere else to heal, to get away from that. Or for those of you who like, you know, maybe you were in college and you partied a lot. Now you've graduated and you're like, I can't live in this major metro area. My values don't align with that anymore. So you know, Maybe you're like, I've been drinking too much. I don't want to live in like a place that's like lined with bars on every block. I'm gonna move out into the forest, or whatever it is. I just feel like it's a place where you're going to find freedom and break free from old attachments. We also have Gemini here. This one says cross-pollinate. So I definitely feel like your space is going to be very vibrant. It's going to be very adaptable, and it's going to be even like a communicative space, right? Gemini is ruled by the planet of Mercury, and it's all about duality, connection, and, having this exchange. So I wonder if you live in a place that's like maybe centrally located, or maybe in an area that offers you this blend of like urban accessibility, but then like natural beauty too, right? A place that maybe encourages things like social interaction or intellectual stimulation. I just think that you're going to have like a close proximity to places that you can communicate with others, right? So maybe living near a thriving community, or like a city center where people from different backgrounds can meet, or a place that has easy access to cafes or bookstores or art galleries, or like co-working spaces or networking opportunities. There's a lot of versatility here. So I definitely think that this home could be in a place that can easily adapt to different needs, right? From maybe like hosting social gatherings to having time by yourself for quiet reflection. Maybe some of you here are going to live in a neighborhood that feels like it's evolving, or a place that's like a mix of old and new, right? It symbolizes this duality and this flexibility of Gemini. Now, I also feel like this location could be close to nature, right? Whether this is like parks or lakes or walking trails. I just think that you'll live in some sort of close proximity to a place that you can clear your head and you can reflect. I also feel like, again, the location is going to be one that encourages you to share your ideas, right? A place where people come together for a cause or an interest. Somewhere where you can foster connection or collaboration or growth. We also have crossing bridges. This one says it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. So with this card, I feel like it's going to be like your future home's going to be in a place where you can easily reflect and rejuvenate. I think that you're going to live in a very serene environment. Maybe some of you here are going to be living on the outskirts of a larger city, someplace that feels very retreat-like, somewhere that allows you to heal and reconnect with yourself. I also feel like the home itself might have elements that support your personal growth, right? So a meditation spot, or like a spot to do yoga, or your creative projects. I feel like your home is going to have a strong sense of flow. It's going to maybe have even an open layout, or some sort of space that is designed to encourage your healing, whether this is through light or color or some sort of other material that you use. But I just feel like, on a practical note, it's going to be a place that feels like an emotional reset to you, right? This is a home where your emotional journey is going to align with your living space, and it's going to create this really beautiful sanctuary where you can heal and grow and really embrace your future with a sense of peace and purpose. We also have the soul. This one says butterfly. So with this one, I feel like you are going to live in a place that's not only beautiful, but it's also, again, like emotionally uplifting, right? It's a place that supports your personal growth and your renewal and spiritual alignment. I think that most of you here can expect to live in a location that's surrounded by nature, right? So near gardens, near forest, or some sort of open space that you can feel this sense of expansion and freedom, right? It's kind of like this spot that feels like an oasis where you can leave behind the busyness and reconnect with your inner self. I also feel like your space feels very airy. It feels very open. It has a lot of natural light, right? It has like windows. I can see some of you having like blackout curtains though, just with like the devil card that we have here, like in it being with like, the subconscious, the caverns. Maybe it's, you have your blackout curtains. Maybe some of you, just random select some of you, maybe some of you here work like a night shift or like night audit, and you need to make it dark so you can get some rest. Or maybe some of you here are nurses and you work like the night shift too. Just a specific couple of examples here. But yeah, I feel like this location, it feels very creative. It feels like it supports your spiritual growth. I just feel like your future dream home feels like a place where you can fully spread your wings, if you know what I mean. It feels like a place that you can dive into your soul's journey, and it can really allow you to like experience the freedom that you deserve. And this place is going to allow you to transform into that next version of yourself. We also have air sign, which I think is amazing. We have so many different confirmation of air sign energy here. Gemini, butterfly, Queen of Swords, air sign. So yeah, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I just recognized the typo on Libra. Also because I'm a Libra moon, but that's not why I noticed the typo. Anyway, maybe some of you here are air signs. Maybe some of you here are going to buy a home with an air sign, or maybe one of your kids is an air sign or is going to be an air sign. Again, it could just reflect the themes that we were speaking about earlier with Gemini, but air sign energy could be very prominent or important as it has to do with your future home. Now I want to dive into the part of the reading where we talk about what your future home looks like. We have the Queen of Swords here. So with this, also some of you here may live in a place that experiences snow seasonally. So just wanted to point that out. But I think that your home, again, for some of you, it's going to have a lot of natural light. Maybe it's going to have an environment that feels very airy and open, big windows, right? Something that has a lot of light-filled energy. I also think that for some of you here, you could be drawn to things like minimalistic and thoughtful design, right? The Queen of Swords does appreciate things like order and organization. So I definitely think that your dream home is going to have like a very clean design, or maybe it's going to be looking a bit minimalist, or it's going to have like carefully selected pieces that are both functional but aesthetic too, right? So some of you here may have like sleek contemporary furniture, or, you know, decor that really does maintain the sense of balance and simplicity in your home. Maybe some of you here like those neutral tones, right? And those modern lines. And another thing here too is I feel like many of you here are going to have like a dedicated space for studying or researching or reflecting. The Queen of Swords is very intellectual and very analytical. So I do think that your dream home is going to have some sort of designated area where you can contemplate or study or, you know, work on your creative expression. Some of you here may have like a very cozy reading nook, or like a home office with a lot of shelves with books, right? A place where you can journal or meditate, right? A big desk. Some sort of sanctuary where you can nurture that mental clarity and your insight. The Queen of Swords is also very independent and assertive, so I feel like your home is going to reflect you feeling empowered, right? So maybe the layout has, you know, spaces for both connection and private areas for solitude and alone time. The Queen of Swords is also very sharp and bold, so maybe your design choices are going to be sharp and bold. Maybe you're going to have like sharp lines or high contrast color schemes, or decor that really does make a statement. Maybe things like geometric patterns, something that really does represent your mental acuity. I also think that the Queen of Swords is very practical in terms of functionality. So I really do think that functionality is going to be like a big thing as it has to do with your dream home. I think that it's going to be well organized, it's going to be well structured, and it's going to have this emphasis on, you know, efficiency and practicality. I feel like these spaces are going to feel very purposeful. They're going to feel free from, you know, things like unnecessary clutter, and it's really going to allow you to focus on what matters most. So yeah. So we also have Bay, this one says wisdom, and we have Leo energy here. So pile 3, I feel like your future dream home is a place that has a lot of confidence and warmth, and it's a place that again reflects that inner wisdom of yours. So I feel like with Leo energy here, I wonder if what your home looks like is a place with like a very big entrance, right? Like a grand entrance, you know, big welcoming doors. I think that the energy of Leo demands a space that feels both regal and then full of personality too, right? So maybe the interior of your house has really tall bay windows, really big, elegant archways. I also feel like some of you here, maybe you use colors that are very rich, very vibrant. Maybe some of you here are going to be using gold or deep shades of red, right? Really reflecting things like the sun and the sun's vitality, right? Because Leo is connected to the sun in terms of planets. Now, I do think that many of you here may have like an open floor concept, right? Because Leo values freedom and openness. And so I think that, again, your space is going to be expansive. I think that things flow seamlessly. Maybe some of you have a very large central gathering area, right? Like a great room or a living room where you feel like your conversations are like the focal point of things. For some of you here too, I feel like the kitchen could be like the heart of your home. So I don't know if you have like a big kitchen island and it's easy to entertain your guests. I can see like high-end appliances, right? Like a very like a smart home, like I mentioned before, or things with like some technological advances in it. And I also feel like, again, there's going to be a lot of space for you to create, right? Because Leo is a sign of creativity. It's a sign of self-expression. So, you know, whether it's a home office or a music room or an art studio, I just feel like this space is going to reflect your passion and your talents, and it's going to be filled with both like inspiration, but then it's going to be looking very aesthetically pleasing too. I wonder if some of you here have a space to do like divination practices, right? It looks like a tarot card or a card in a bit of like a grimoire or something. I don't know if some of you are into like spell work or those things, but I also feel the need to say like some of you here are going to be manifesting like a house that has a really big master suite. Like I feel like it feels very luxurious, comfortable, large, right? Maybe like big chandeliers or some sort of element of like luxury, right? The sense of elegance is there in this home. So yes. I also feel like outside it feels like there's a lot of like lush trees, right? Gardens, things that like really evoke that richness of nature, right? So maybe you have a really large patio or a deck. I just feel like you're gonna be able to like soak in and like just take in the sun or the stars or just really the presence of the natural world. So it just feels like a sanctuary for you, pile 3. And I also feel like this dream home is more than just a structure, it's a legacy, right? So it's something that you're building to last the test of time. We also have a Waz, and this is from the Runes deck, and this rune is typically associated with things like movement, things like partnership, right? Things like harmony, the idea of progress through cooperation and having this sense of direction with somebody else, right? So I wonder if you end up purchasing a home with another person, or maybe you go in and you buy a big like compound and you split it with your friends or your family, multi-generational living. It just kind of depends on your preferences. I just wanted to mention that for a specific some of you. But again, I do feel like there's this connection to nature, right? There's also, again, this emphasis on partnership and shared spaces. So I feel like your dream home is a place where you might include other people, right? Family, friends, a partner, spaces where people can come together. Again, things like open kitchens, really big, living rooms, dining areas, those types of things. And I also feel like your dream home is something that's going to be ever changing, right? Something that's going to evolve over time. So I just definitely think that this is a home that like you'll put a lot of work into, and like it's just a home with a lot of connection in it. We also have the mushroom card here, and so I wonder if you're going to be like located in a place that has a lot of like wild plants and animals, and maybe outside is full of like a mushroom garden, or maybe mushrooms are significant to you. But this one says we can never have enough of nature. Henry David Thoreau. So again, yeah, it's this confirmation that like your future dream home has a lot to do with this connection to nature, right? It, especially with that Awaz rune, it's deeply connected to things like travel and movement. And so, again, I think that your home is probably going to be surrounded by natural beauty, right? Trees, gardens, access to things like open spaces, right? So I feel like you're going to have spaces that you can go to clear your mind, whether this is gardens or a patio, right? Some sort of place that feels like an inner sanctuary. So yes, I do hope that this was super fun, pile 3. I hope that you found something in there that resonates. Thank you so much. Please give this video a like. Please comment below with the pile that you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please take care of yourself. Check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of different pick a card readings as well as other videos for you to explore. But if not this time, I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. So pile 4, let's dive into your future dream home. Let's dive into where this home is located, and then we're going to move into what it looks like in a little bit. But in terms of the location of your future dream home, we have the Judgment card here, and this one says Grand Canyon National Park. So I feel like, well, let me back up a little bit. This card represents things like awakening, it represents things like rebirth, and it symbolizes this call to a higher purpose, right? So it invites us to look at our past and to take stock of any sort of lessons that we've learned and make some sort of like transformative decision. So I'm thinking about how like the Grand Canyon is known for its large size, right? And the way it's been shaped by like just eons of like, you know, geological activity. And so I do think that this represents your future dream home being something that is part of your personal evolution, right? Or your personal transformation. I feel like this is my pile that's going to feel like their future home is going to be shaped by like the forces of destiny and growth. But I would say that in terms of location, I feel like your future dream home is probably going to be surrounded by some sort of like awe-inspiring natural beauty, right? Very much like the Grand Canyon. I feel like maybe your home is going to sit within like a wide open space, right? Or like maybe it's going to be on a high vista, right? Maybe you're going to have some sort of like really nice view from like up above. I also think that in terms of location, it's probably somewhere that feels a little bit more, not like isolated, but just like a retreat for you, right? Where you can disconnect from the busyness of everyday life and you can really embrace a more serene and like reflective existence, right? So maybe your dream home isn't going to be in the heart of like a busy city, but maybe it's on the outskirts of a city, right? Maybe it's in a more secluded or protected natural setting. I also feel like in terms of location, maybe your future dream home is in a place that you can reflect, right? Or you can kind of go through a rebirth, because the Judgment card here encourages us to look at our own life with fresh eyes, right? And so I do think that your future home could be in a place where you feel spiritually renewed. And so I think that your future home is going to offer you this time and space to reflect, whether this is through things like meditation or journaling or just having moments of stillness. I really do feel like your future dream home, it's going to be a place for connection, right? So just like places like the Grand Canyon bring people together from all walks of life to, you know, really experience something very majestic. I think that your dream home could be a gathering place as well. Maybe it's going to be the place that serves as a location for really meaningful connections, you know, family gatherings, friend reunions, or hey, maybe you even host retreats there, right? It just depends what you want to do. But I just feel like your dream home is going to be very much representative of this long-term commitment where you can grow roots over time, right? And I do think that it speaks to the importance of like really laying this strong foundation that's going to stand the test of time. I love that we have the card commitment here too. Okay, so I want to just start like in terms of specific locations, and now know that like what I'm about to share, this list, it isn't exhaustive, right? If you have a place that you feel called to, trust that you're your own best judge, of course. This is all for fun, but right away, obviously, I'm thinking that some of you might live near the Grand Canyon or in proximity to the Grand Canyon, right? So some of you here may live in Arizona in terms of your future dream home. But I also think, like, just as symbolism, I think that, again, you could be having your future dream home in a place that has very immense geological history, right? And a lot of beauty and a lot of vastness. A place that you can go to for like spiritual renewal. I'm also thinking about places in Japan, right? So like, for example, somewhere near Mount Fuji, right? Because Mount Fuji is a symbol of purity and spiritual awakening, right? And I just feel like its presence really does offer us this sense of like transcendence, right? Or this connection to the divine. I also forgot to mention places like Sedona, Arizona, right? It's known for its vortexes, and Sedona is really a place that encourages spiritual awakening and personal evolution, right? And personal transformation. I wonder too if there's this lake in Guatemala, and I think it's like in a volcanic crater. There's like some sort of serene lake. It's like evading my mind right now, but maybe you live in a place that's like surrounded by mountains, right? And again, it offers you this sense of like awe and astonishment and awakening. I also feel like Greece could be a place too, right? So like Santorini, places that have like sweeping views of the sea, a perfect place to get some perspective, right? It's like those white, I don't know if they're like white stone buildings, but it's truly just a beautiful, beautiful paradise there. I also feel like maybe somewhere in Peru, because I think about like Machu Picchu, right? It's like a sacred site. It's high in the Andes, right? And it has this deep connection to like wisdom and culture and ancient wisdom. And I'm not saying you're going to live on, like at Machu Picchu, but maybe some of you move to Peru, right? Or someplace like that. I just feel like these places all share a common theme, and it's this energy of connection to the divine, right? And transcendence, and really beginning a new chapter or like really significant period of personal growth. So I do think that wherever your future dream home is piled for, it's going to be in a place that's very peaceful, a place that's very natural, a place that feels very expansive, and it offers you room for like reflection and transformation and a chance for you to connect with your higher purpose, right? We also have the Imam Cheli card. This one says root. If you're interested in learning more about Imam Cheli in astrology, I do have a podcast called That's Deep Podcast. I have it linked for you in the description if you feel called. But basically, the Imam Cheli, or the IC, represents your deepest sense of home and your personal foundation. I think for some of you here, you might want to look at where your Imam Cheli or your IC is on your birth chart, if you have that. Because I think that Imam Cheli can provide you with a lot of insights based on whatever sign and whatever house it's placed in. So I'll give you a couple different examples here. So if you have your IC in Taurus in the 4th house, maybe you have a home in a very peaceful, nature-oriented area, right? Maybe you're going to be near farmland or lakes or gardens, and your home is going to feel very stable and very comfortable. Or, you know, for those of you who have Imam Cheli in Cancer in the 4th house, right? Maybe you have this like very cozy, family-oriented home that's near water or near a location with a very like strong ancestral or emotional tie, right? So maybe some of you here live on like a family estate. I just feel like the IC is all about where you feel grounded, and it's all about where you feel the most yourself. So maybe you're going to think about environments or places that really reflect that, you know, internal sense of like security or comfort. We also have begin now. This one says take your first step. So with this one, I feel like your future dream home is going to be located in a place that feels like a fresh start, or it feels like a new chapter. We also have the begin now card, and this one says take your first step. So with this card, I feel like your future dream home, maybe for some of you, you're going to live in the countryside. Maybe some of you are going to live in an area where it feels really peaceful and where you can connect with nature and really take things in at your own pace. I think that there's many of you here that might be drawn to like a coastal location, a place by the water, something that really does symbolize some sort of new emotional chapter, and possibilities that feel expansive. Now, for those of you who are more interested in like a more urban place or like more of a creative hub. Maybe some of you are drawn to a city that's known for its innovation, right? And its energy and new opportunities where your goals and your dreams and your aspirations can really come to life. And then for those of you who are interested in being in more of like a mountainous or like a forested area, I feel like you guys are going to be in this area that feels very serene and like secluded, and the environment just really does encourage a lot of this introspection and this renewal. I really do think that this location is going to be the one that really does inspire growth, you know, no matter what type of location you're drawn to, pile 4. Where your future dream home is going to be in a place that really does inspire a lot of growth, and it gives you room to take bold steps towards your dreams. We also have beauty. This one says swan. And with this one, I feel like, again, it could be by the water, right? It could be by like, maybe like a lakeside or like a waterfront property, right? Maybe some sort of like peaceful retreat by the lake or river, right? Maybe something that offers like some calm waters or some reflective beauty, something that really does mirror the grace of a swan. Again, I think that this is a confirmation for some of you out there who are interested in living in a forested area or like a woodland setting, right? So something that has a lot of like mature trees and tranquility and, you know, things that offer a lot of natural beauty. And maybe, you know, for some of you, you're just looking for a place that you can enjoy the light filtering through the leaves, right? Like there's just so many different like things here, pile 4. I also feel like for some of you here who are drawn to more of like a coastal, like beachside place, maybe you want to be near the sea, right? You want to feel that soft sand between your hands and your toes, and you want to be around the flowing tides, and you want to take in this horizon that's so expansive, right? You want to be in this place that feels like it evokes this sense of balance and this sense of peace. And then for those of you here who are more drawn to like a mountain retreat, maybe you have a home that's like, it's just very majestic and it has sweeping views of mountains that are just huge, and there's just a lot of elegance and quietude and, you know, so much that you can do to just like reset and like retreat to your own place, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I feel like any of those locations, or of course, if I didn't mention a location that you feel drawn to, just know that it's some sort of place that like is connected to beauty and peace and connection to the natural world. So yes, we also have commitment. Things are getting serious. Ooh, so I wonder if you're going to manifest your future dream home with a partner, right? With a husband, with a wife, with a committed partnership in some way. Or maybe like you end up getting the house when things get serious, right? There's so many different scenarios here. But commitment is definitely a big thing. I also think of commitment as like legal, like signing a contract, right? Like, so maybe this is representative of like you actually purchasing the house and like making that commitment to being a homeowner, right? So many different options here. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Right now I want to dive into the part of the reading where we're going to talk about what your future dream home looks like. So we have the world here, and this one says Glacier National Park. Ooh, okay, so the world in the tarot, it typically represents things like completion, things like fulfillment, you know, things like harmony with the universe, and it talks about things like integration and balance, right? It can symbolize a time or a place where everything feels aligned, everything feels whole. And so with Glacier National Park as your inspiration, I feel like your future dream home is going to embody this sense of tranquility and this sense of expansiveness, right? Something that really does bring you a lot of peace and connection to the world around you. I also feel like with the world here, I wonder if you're going to be moving from like somewhere far, right? Like across the globe, or maybe some of you here want to travel the world first before, you know, planting your roots and buying a new home or renting a new home or whatever it is, right? For some of you here, I feel like your dream home is something that's nestled in this really breathtaking natural setting, right? Maybe it's high in the mountains and it's overlooking some sort of like serene lake or valley, right? Or maybe it has some sort of stunning view of the wilderness, right? I feel like where you live too, like the air could be crisp, right? Or the surrounding nature, it feels very pure or untouched. I wonder too if like your home might be near the water, or, you know, perched on a cliff or offering some sort of like panoramic views from like big expansive meadows, right? Maybe you have towering peaks. Now in terms of the architecture, I feel like your home would have this like open, spacious design, right? This would combine something like modern aesthetics with natural materials, right? Like stone or wood or glass. And I do think that you're going to have windows that are going to allow light to like flood in and create this sense of unity, right, in this environment. I also feel like you'd have like large windows, right, framing the outside world, whether this is like looking out into snow-capped mountains or, you know, lush forests or crystal clear lakes. There's just this emphasis on nature, right? Maybe it's like sustainability or energy efficient systems, right? Eco-friendly things, solar panels, these things. But I do feel like the structure of your home, it feels timeless, right? It feels like it's always been a part of the landscape, and I feel like it's gonna offer you like both comfort and awe, really. Now, in terms of the ambiance or the atmosphere of your home, I feel like it's one of serenity and it's definitely one of completeness, right? So I think that your rooms, they really do feel light, they feel airy. Maybe some of you here are playing with soft tones in your home. I definitely think that some of you here are curating spaces to meditate or read or, you know, to simply reflect, whether that's on a sunlit deck or maybe on a fireplace made of stone. I just feel like your sanctuary is going to be designed to support this very peaceful, balanced lifestyle, and it's going to feel like it's a place where time is flowing gently and you're going to feel in sync with nature. I feel like your outdoor space, it feels like the outside, the land around your home, it just feels very lush, it feels very expansive, it feels very wide, but it also feels very cultivated to enhance the beauty of like the natural world, right? So maybe you have walking trails through forest, or you live along a river, right? Or you have a place where you can sit and watch the stars. There's just some sort of like sense of self-sufficiency here too. So I wonder if some of you will have like a greenhouse or some sort of sustainable garden, right? Maybe you grow like fresh herbs and veggies. I just think that with this whole like inspiration of the world or Glacier National Park, your home is going to feel like a sanctuary, right? It's going to feel like a place where you feel complete and whole and peaceful and tranquil, and where you can connect with others, right? Where you can grow and rest and, you know, reflect on your journey. We also have gratitude. This one says pink rose. We have Gemini energy here. So with this, I feel like your future dream home is probably going to be a space where it's focused on like emotional openness, right? Learning, really celebrating the beauty of relationships. The influence that Gemini has over a home, it feels very lively, it feels very intellectually stimulating, and I feel like it's a place where conversations can flow naturally and, you know, your ideas are exchanged very freely. In terms of visualizing your dream home, I definitely think that you have like this open, light, airy layout, right? It's this like, again, very open concept, right? Things flow. Maybe there's like smooth, like I've seen those homes where there's like no corners, right? Like there's everything's smooth. I feel like your home is going to be one out of like Architectural Digest. It is like very, very aesthetically pleasing, pile 4. Yes, I'm here for it. I also feel like maybe your home is going to have like high ceilings, right? Maybe like wide windows. It's going to let a lot of light in. I wonder if some of you here will play with like soft pastels or maybe like soft pinks, whites, you know, light greens, something to add to that very soothing vibe, right? Or something to like, I'm just going based off the colors I see here too, but it's almost like that very lively yet balanced energy of Gemini. I also feel like your spaces feel multifaceted, right? Because Gemini has a very like dual nature. So I do think that the spaces in your home are going to feel very adaptable, very versatile, right? So maybe you have a living room that doubles as a library or some sort of creative space that you can host deep conversations or, you know, brainstorm ideas with friends. I also feel like some of you here could have a very inviting dining room for family gatherings or celebrations of like, you know, victories or whatever you're feeling grateful for in the moment, right? I definitely think there's going to be a lot of artwork in there, a lot of personal touches, but things are going to feel very playful. They're going to feel very light. And I do think that your home is one that's going to be filled with love, laughter, meaningful connection. So yes. We also have Gebo, and so this rune, it's a rune card, and this rune represents like a gift, right? It speaks of balance or things like exchange and also harmony too. It can talk about relationships and partnerships that feel mutually beneficial, right? Equal energy exchange. So when it comes to thinking about like your future dream home through the lens of Gebo, I feel like your home is going to have this shared energy, right? It's going to feel very harmonious and welcoming. I feel like, again, it feels very balanced. It feels like there's a sense of like equilibrium here, right? It feels like it has a very welcoming aura to it. I also feel like your home feels very elegant yet practical, right? So maybe the design is something that blends beauty and functionality, right? So maybe your rooms feel cozy and warm, but they're very purposeful. So yeah, I definitely think that your home is going to feel like the center of your creativity. So like, since Gebo is also about giving and receiving, I feel like your home is going to inspire your own creativity and your own self-expression. So maybe this could manifest as a dedicated art studio or some sort of spacious garden, or, you know, something like a cozy nook that's filled with a bunch of books and projects. I also feel like maybe you have like a communal workspace or like a communal kitchen where you prepare meals together, or like, you know, I can see like, for those of you who are parents, like maybe you have a bunch of teenagers and they all come out, you know, they all come home after school and they're all crowd around your kitchen island and they're eating snacks and like doing homework and catching up about the day, and it just feels really warm and fun and light. So yes. And then we also have a compass card here. So I definitely think that the location of your future dream home is going to depend on where your internal compass is pointing you at that time. Maybe this is my pile that has more than one home, right? More than one property. And this one says, let your heart be your compass. So yeah, you're going to be allowing your heart to guide you. Maybe you're going to be, you know, following the stars in some way, but you're going to be following your own guidance. You're not going to be going off the basis of what other people want you to do or where other people want you to live. You're going to be following your own heart. So this is all super exciting. And then I actually just got these number die in the mail. So I want to roll the dice and get some angel numbers for any other additional information you might need to know. Pile 4. Okay, so we have 20 and we have 8. Okay, so this can be 20, it can be 8, or it can be 208. So I have a angel number book. Let me just get it without knocking everything over. Okay. I have an angel number book. I will link this for you in the description, but let's find out more information about, here, let's get your dice. We have 20 and then 8, and then I'll look up 208 also. This comes from Mystic Michaela. She's amazing. I've gotten a reading from her as well. I do think she has like a wait list, or I'm not sure if her readings are still open, but she's amazing. She's wonderful. For all my Bravo fans out there, maybe you all have seen her on, I think she was on Real Housewives of Orange County, one of the seasons. I'm a big Bravo fan here. So for all of my Bravo stans out there too, leave me a comment below if you are a Bravo girly like me. But okay, 20, pile 4. Gratitude. That's so funny. We've got double gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. So this one says, boost your energy levels. Being thankful for what you have aligns you with divine light and love. Your angels want you to focus on that today and feel good while doing it. Pen a letter to your future self describing what you have presently that makes you feel grateful. Wow. So again, pen a letter to your future self describing what you have presently that makes you feel grateful. I wonder if you're going to manifest your future dream home by future scripting, right? Being like, I am so happy and grateful that I received my dream home. It had, you know, the 5 bedrooms and the 3 bathrooms and the double story, the 2-story home that I always wanted. You know, brand new build. Like, just get down to the details, right? The paint is gray or whatever it is, right? Write down what exactly you want. Like, put your order in with the universe and do it in the energy of gratitude, and you will see how quickly you'll manifest things. So we have gratitude, and then let's also do 8. Oops. Okay. Ooh, abundance. Okay. So we also have abundance. This one says the energy is limitless. There are forces always flowing and moving through and around you. The ones you pay attention to and open up to will envelop you in their flow. When you see this number, meditate on what in your life requires development and abundance. Visualize energy coming forth to nurture growth in these areas. Interesting. So the energy is limitless. I think this is a reminder for you not to put a cap on the abundance that you can receive. Like, maybe be open to the fact that your dream home could be even more magnificent than you could have ever imagined or ever allowed yourself to, like, dream up for yourself, you know? So there's that one. And then we also have 208. Okay, so this one, again, so many gratitude. This one says gratitude everywhere. Challenge yourself to be thankful. There's always something to be thankful for. No matter how dire the present circumstances may seem, your angels challenge you to focus on gratitude. Write a list of what you are grateful for today. Nothing is too inconsequential to conclude or to include. I love that. So I also just feel like this could be like a little like game, right, that you can play. It's like a notice 3 maybe simple but amazing things that you feel gratitude for today, right? So for me, I am grateful for my adorable baby smile and his love. I am so grateful for all my children and the fact that I get to be their mom. I'm grateful for my husband. He's my best friend, and I'm grateful for you all on this channel too. This community is just everything to me, so I'm grateful for all of you and your time here too. So yeah, just maybe it could be a little experiment. Like, what's a couple things that maybe feel like you want to point out and be, you know, point out gratitude towards or for. And yeah, but anyway, thank you so much, Pile 4. I hope that this was fun. Please give this video a like if it resonates. Comment below with what pile you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Please take care of yourself. I hope to see you on the next video after this. I have a playlist with a ton of pick-a-card readings on my channel for you to explore, so check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. But if not this time, I will see you back on the next reading. Bye, Pile 4.